Good morning, this is Kavita Kundra and welcome to Ignou mscdfsm, and the topic today is Cell and Blood Part 2. Mitosis, the process of nuclear division in which cells that produce genetically identical daughter cell which are identical to parent cell division is equational and the chromosomes are duplicated. Phases of mitosis. Prophase. The chromatin diffuse in interphase and condenses into chromosome. Each chromosome has duplicated and now consists of two sister chromatids. The nuclear envelope breaks up the vesicles. Pro-metaphase. The nuclear membrane dissolves, making the beginning of pro-metaphase. Protein attach to the center, creating kinetochores. The microtubules attach the kinetochores begin moving. Metaphase. The chromosomes align at equatorial plate are held in the place of microtubules attached to mitotic spindle and to part of centromere. Anaphase. The centromere divides sister chromatids separate and move towards corresponding poles. Telophase. The chromatid arrive at opposite poles of cell. New membrane from around the daughter nuclei. The chromosome disperse and no longer visible under the light microscope. The spindle fiber disperse and cytokinesis or partitioning of cell may begin during this stage. Cytokinesis is results when fiber ring composed of protein called actin around the center of cell contracts, pinching the cell into daughter cell, each with nucleus. In plant cell, the rigid cell wall requires that a cell plate may be synthesized between two daughter cells. Mitosis takes place in somatic cell. Advantage of mitosis: equal distribution of chromosomes. Mitosis restores the surface volume of the cell. Cell of body are renewed and replaced through the process of mitosis. Meiosis, the process that involves two successive divisions of cell resulting four daughter cells is called meiosis. The division of germ cells into gametes in sexually reproducing organisms occur by the process of cell division as meiosis. The chromosomal number become half. Advantage of meiosis: it maintains constant number of chromosomes. It exchanges genes, cause variations within the species. It is the basis of evolution. Tissues and their functions. A mass of similar cells held together in supporting matrix and perform common function, forming a part of organ. Tissue are classified as epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue. These are the close packed cell. They link skin. They line skin cavities like cavities, urethra, produce secretions, proliferate. Epithelial cell exude secretions. For example, earthworms secrete cuticle and crabs secrete cells. Shell. Connective tissue. It connects and binds different tissues and organs. It provides structural framework and mechanical support there. There are three types of connective tissues: areole, adipose, white fibrous, tendon, ligament, cartilage, etc. Areolar tissues. This is the loose beneath scalp. They are made up of elastin and collagen. Adipose tissue. It stores fat and prevent heat loss by forming heat insulating layer and also shock absorbers. White fibrous tissue is made up of fibers that have great tensile strength. Tendons join muscle to bone and it is made up of collagen fibers. Ligaments, it joins bones at the joints and it is made up of elastin fiber. Cartilage, they are the flexible semi-rigid structure that are present in pinna, the ear, and it connects ribs to the sternum intervertebral disc. Bones, it has a marrow cavity. They are red, yellow. Red marrow forms erythrocytes and leukocytes. Red marrows are found in ribs, vertebrae, skull bones, and bones end of long bones. Yellow marrow is composed of fatty tissues. It stores fat, blood capsules. In emergency, it is found in muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is very specialized tissue that has both ability to contract and to conduct electrical impulse. Muscle contractile proteins are actin and myosin. Muscles are classified as voluntary, involuntary, and structurally as striated and smooth muscle fiber. Muscle fiber, striated, banded, branched, and cylindrical are terms at myofibrils. Plasma membrane, also called sarcolemma, surround muscles, cytoplasm, and sarcoplasms. There are three types of muscles: cardiac, skeletal, smooth. Cardiac muscles are striated involuntary muscles. The muscle protein of cardiac and cylindrical skeletal are same. They are actin, tropomyosin, troponin. Skeletal muscle, it is attached to bone. One can contract them on desire and formed as voluntary muscle. Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are involuntary muscles. It is also known as plasticity. Example, urinary bladder. The urine fills up and contract and expel the urine. It is divided into single unit and multi-unit. The nervous tissue, it is of two types, nerve cells and glial cells. Neurons have numerous long processes and transmit nerve impulse. The largest neuronal process is termed as axon that transmit electrical signal away from the cell. The remaining processes are small and radiate like branches of tree and called dendrites. Nerve impulse jump from one node to another by conduction. The node is bare part of axon. It is insulated by myelin sheath. Deficiency of vitamin B12 in diet result in demyelinating disease. It is known common in vegetarians who don't even take milk products. Blood. Blood is body fluid that flowing inside the body, and the three humors are kapha, pitta, vayu. Health is balanced of these humors. In the system, air come closer to the blood. Blood composition, it contains intercellular fluid, plasma, blood cells that float in the plasma. Blood plasma contain erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets. 55% of total blood consists of plasma, and cell occupy 45% of the blood. The composition of blood has water, protein, and salt. Plasma. It is a fluid in which cellular elements of the blood suspended. Plasma is faint yellow in color, alkaline pH. Plasma has 90% of the water and 10% of the solute. Plasma contain different types of proteins. Plasma protein. Normal plasma has a concentration of 6 to 8 gram per 100 ml of plasma. Protein act as enzyme, hormone and hormones binding protein. Protein maintain osmotic pressure of blood, viscosity of blood, and there are three types of protein: albumin, globulin, fibrinogen. Plasma albumin holds water and maintain plasma level. Fibrinogen makes meshwork of solid fibrin that clots blood, prevent hemorrhage. Globulin is a body defense mechanism that fight against pathogen, and they are synthesized in the liver. They constitute immunoglobulin. The functions of plasma proteins are osmotic pressure, it maintains plasma volume, and maintain fluid balance. Viscosity, it accounts for half of the viscosity. Viscosity depends on molecular shape as compared to the size. Protein reserve, it provides reserve to be used at the time of starvation. Antibodies protect us from infection. Clotting, it helps in the clotting, and transport wastage getting prevented during the excretion by getting bound to the plasma protein. Blood cells. There are different types of cells in the blood that is called corpuscles: RBCs, WBCs, platelets. They are called erythrocytes. They have three advantages. RBCs can swell quite a bit before bursting into hypotonic solution. The biconcave shape can squeeze through the narrow space. Biconcave shape increases efficiency of oxygen transfer across RBC membrane. Mean diameter of RBC is 7.5 microns. Packed cell volume or PCV. The average volume of RBC is called mean corpuscular volume, and mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration is the amount of hemoglobin per unit volume of red cell mass called or expressed as the What are the functions of erythrocytes? It transports oxygen. It contains HB protein. 1 gram of erythrocyte carries 1.34 cc of oxygen. RBCs have ability to concentrate HB in cell fluid into up to 34 grams per dl of cell, and this is metabolic limit. When hematocrit is 40 to 45%, the quantity of HB is normal. Whole blood contains 16 grams per dl of HB in men and 14 gram per dl in women. It also maintains pH of blood, and it transport the helps in the transport, and the lifespan is 120 days. White blood cells. They are called leukocytes. They are colorless. They produce antibodies. It is divided into two types depending upon the presence or absence of the granules in cytoplasm: granulocytes or agranulocytes. Granulocytes you can remember by BEN, Ben. Basophil, eosinophils, neutrophils. Agranulocytes are monocytes, lymphocytes. Monocytes are the largest WBC, measuring 2 to 3 times of RBC. Monocytes leave cell and become macrophages. They are large phagocytic cells that engulf foreign materials that enter in the body. Lymphocytes, there are two types: beta lymphocytes having B cells, T lymphocytes having T cells. Basophils release histamine and other chemical that act on blood vessels when immune response triggered. Neutrophils, they squeeze through the capillary walls and went into infected tissues where they kill invaders and engulf remnants by phagocytosis. Eosinophils, it is quite low, and however their number increases in certain diseases of parasite, worm and allergies. Platelets, they are third types of cell formed by pinching of the large bone marrow called megakaryocytes. Functions of platelets: to stop the blood from the wound, that is called homeostasis, and it releases chemical called serotonin. It aggregates to plug the vascular plug at the site of injury, and platelets have skeletal muscles, actin, myosin proteins that contract, have clot retractions. It ensures normal flow of blood around the sealed injured blood vessels. Bleeding time, the time taken for the blood to cease flowing from an injured site, is also known as bleeding time. Clot time, the time taken for a clot to form is called clotting time, and the patient whose bleeding time is less than 4 minutes and clotting time is less than 12 minutes may be taken for surgery. So there are certain things that are clear. Why blood clot? What are the different types of mechanisms you have in your body to fight against infections?